Hey friends, I'm Shannon Guerra. This post is called What We Are Charged to Carry: How Quiet Perseverance Makes Room for Exploits. It was originally published on November 20th, 2025. I told you about Exodus a while back, and I'm currently in Numbers, so if you're paying attention, that means I blew through Leviticus with nary a reference to it, and you're welcome. But I have a confession to make. I actually like Numbers. Is that shocking? It gets such a bad rap, but I think that's because by the time we've endured all the details of the tabernacle and the Levitical laws, we find ourselves in Numbers, amid tribes and names and duties, and we are just like, when will this ever end? And please, not another census. And also, what the heck, they're not even talking about yarn anymore. But Numbers is where the battles start. It's where the spies scope out the promised land. There's deception and cursing and blessing, rebellion, revolts, and wars. So much drama. Before we get to all that, though, we delve into tribes and their responsibilities. And yes, it's boring. But we are grown-ups, and the Lord uses our postured attention to speak to us even when we couldn't care less about the Kohathites. On the blue couch with the Bible and coffee, my eyes go over the verses, and sometimes the Lord tells me something that has nothing to do with the chapter at all, but about the day ahead or a situation I've been praying about. And this is easy. It actually asks less of me than really studying, unraveling Greek or Hebrew, or wondering what a passage says in a different version. Because in these times, he gives answers, not more questions. Also, this boring stuff sets the stage for the exploits later. I'm no Old Testament scholar, but it was a massive feat to organize this group of millions in their community functions, and it was not glamorous work. I need to see this boring stuff because my own life is riddled with the expensive, complicated, mundane, and I need perspective. What I mean is, it's easy to be passionate and excited about big endeavors. There's a mission or a battle ahead. Great! Let's train, prepare, equip, invest, do all the things. Yes, it's hard, but this is an adventure. It's ambitious, gutsy. We're doing it for a cause. It's one thing to raise a bunch of money because you're adopting or going back to school or launching a business venture or becoming a missionary or doing some other wild exploit. It's another thing entirely to need roughly the same amount of funds to crown a broken tooth, cover eye appointments and glasses for 3 people, and replace your home's heating system, which has already been repaired numerous times. These are not the escapades that inspire us. This is the boring maintenance that keeps body and soul, or house, together. And we need answers here, too, not more questions. So everything we read doesn't have to be wars and drama and taking the land, just as everything we do at home isn't always birthday parties and pizza nights. We need routine maintenance, like laundry and making beds. We need the calm to train our attention spans with books and tasks that are less flashy. So these parts in the Old Testament will grow us if we let them. My old NRSV talks about ancestral houses and the different services performed by clans, and it is, of course, not referring to physical houses, but generational giftings and callings. Or deeper, it's about the atmosphere and assignments of our families, including our church families. This stuff seems dry when we read it, but we all have a particular culture within our homes and tribes that we run with. Your ancestral house might excel in music and theatrical creativity. Maybe everyone knows the hymnal from front to back. Some groups are quiet and reverent. Others are loud and hilarious. Some of us have powerful deliverance ministries or community outreaches, but we still aren't sure how to use the word liturgy in a sentence. Did I even say that correctly? I don't know. In chapter 4, this verse stopped me. This is what they are charged to carry as the whole of their service. That is the first part of Numbers chapter 4, verse 31. You and I, individually, are charged to carry particular things as our whole act of service too. They are specific things, not everything. We are charged to carry whatever the Lord has called us to, not what he's called our neighbor or pastor or best friend to. Still in Numbers 4, in verse 47, it talks about everyone qualified to do the work of service and the work of bearing burdens, and it's referring to the tent of meeting. But as I'm reading it, the Lord is talking to me about my work and service, and how not wanting to and not being qualified are different things, because here too is the discipline and obedience that bear fruit. This is where the battles in our hearts start. And if we follow through, it's where they're won. I don't always want to do the work of thinking hard or counseling and discipling or helping my 20-year-old daughter in the bathroom. But those are things I am charged to carry. On the daily, I tend to feel scattered and spread thin. Kids, family, ministry, business, writing, gaining ground, homesteaderly, homeschooling, personal study. What am I focused on? Aren't we supposed to have a niche? Everyone says so. At least all the self-promoting experts on the internet do. But as I've been in Numbers, I've also been in Proverbs 31 for weeks, rereading, letting it sink into me. I never seem to get enough time in it, so this time around, I decided to linger. And as I've gone over it again and again, not the whole chapter, just the last 20-ish verses, I've realized that this woman it talks about didn't fit into tidy, clean boxes either. She, too, was all over the place. Family, business, community, creativity, caring for her household, and also for herself. The world tells us to focus and niche down, but that's not how life works for many of us. Most of us are not charged to carry just one or two simple priorities. When we seek the kingdom first, our passions run deep and wide, and we scatter seeds everywhere. In the wide broadcast, it seems like it's taking forever to see fruit come of it. And the Lord tells me, look at the plant, love. About a year ago, I repotted and hung this pothos. There's a photo of it in the original post. It had only 2 stems and about 4 leaves. Now it has 14 leaves. But all I've done is water it and wait. And this is where we see exponential growth. Small steps of obedience, plus time and patience. Steadiness and grit. Backbone and perseverance. Constancy and equanimity. On their own, they're just stubbornness. But leveraged in obedience toward our callings, they multiply into something beyond our expectations. I didn't have a grid for that, we think. And God says, that's why I'm giving you one. Our small acts are laying down lines, creating a platform that our future exploits are built on.